think last year we grew to about 30% more. How I've got choked up talking about the output, making me emotional. I could make a whole segment about HR and, everyone. Alrighty, guys, well, welcome back. As some of you may or may not know, we have taken an extended break away from the podcast. Much needed break. We've been doing this now for about a year and a half now. So yes, it'll be season 2 and episode 1. So we're going to roll it back. We're going to go back to the very first episode, but same, but with some changes. So to give everyone a little bit of a recap as to what has been going on in life for myself, the business, and multiple things. I can't remember when the last episode came out. I think it was
maybe late November, mid-November.
Yep. So, so around November time was sort of the last one. We were planning on rolling it out, but just life got busy. We obviously had to move offices, move studios. I went on an extended holiday, and then obviously Christmas and everything in between. So, we basically said to ourselves that what we're going to do is, and as some of you are aware, we spoke about it before, but we were going through a bit of a rebrand. So we basically pulled back, had a decent break off it, banked some of the guests that are going to be coming on, and had a deeper think about as to what the new brand's going to be and as to why we're going to do it. So I didn't just decide to do it for any particular reason. It basically was that I felt we essentially, shedded the old version of ourselves, and I feel like it's only fitting that the podcast and the guests and everything evolves as we evolve as well. So when we started this back in, I can't remember, 2024, 2023, I can't remember.
I think it's late 23.
Yeah, late 2023. I was at a different point in my life, and the business was as well, and yeah, it's been crazy. I think we did 55 episodes.
Yeah, it was over 50.
Yeah, something like that. So, so to tell everyone now what the new brand is and why I've decided to go that way is, so the original podcast was the On-Site Insight podcast. We are now changing it to just the Insight. So, it's going to be the Insight podcast, and I'm dropping the on-site component because I feel that the level of guests that we're getting on now and the way that the podcast is shifting, and I had seen it in the last few episodes, and for the people that have listening week on week and seen it sort of change as well, as you can tell, it's taken a bit more of a different journey into the insight into business owners and the struggles and triumphs that they have. So doesn't mean that we're not going to relate to the trades, but I now want to offer the podcast because we have had a few people reach out that want to jump on that aren't particularly related to the trade or have an on-site experience, but they do have experience in business and all that sort of stuff. So I think now it's more fitting than ever, especially on the journey of myself. And at the end of the day, it's still giving context to a lot of guys and a lot of, I would say, learning pieces that they can learn from as well. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to get back through some of the original guests that we had and delve back into that on-site sort of stuff as an apprentice and as a carpenter and stuff. But yeah, the podcast is evolving. So, we're going to release the new look and all that sort of stuff. And as you can probably tell from the people that are watching this, if you're not watching, you should be watching. But we've changed locations now. So we're going for, this isn't the final studio that we're sitting in, but the vibe of what we've got here is very much what we're going to be. So we're going to go from black to white, a bit of a lighter sort of feel. And we're going to see how that goes. It's all a journey. And for all the people that have been messaging me saying, "Oh, what happened? You lost passion." I didn't lose passion at all. I think I had a lot of stuff going on. Nothing bad, just the business had a lot of stuff going on. So, obviously moving premises was a massive deal. And we've just been busy, boys. We've just been busy. So, that's it. But we're back.
We are back. And this is temporary space for people who watch on the YouTube. And I guess let's just quickly recap how last year went. I think statistics-wise, the podcast, we're averaging a little over 1,000 average viewers every episode, which I think is a lot for a podcast where you literally just sit down and talk.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. Yeah, I guess last year was probably the first full year in the actual podcast. How did you like it? What did you like?
It was good. I think it's like anything. It's the commitment side of it for me, and obviously I feel like it can be a bit Groundhog Day-ish for both of us. It's not all shining lights and rainbows for you guys listening. It's sometimes it is a bit of a grind, but I think, and I've mentioned this to Nick multiple times, like when we make the commitment that we're going to do certain things, we need to fulfill those commitments. And there was multiple times throughout last year where I didn't have the motivation to do it. It wasn't working for the schedule. Nick was away, I was away. There was multiple things, but I think overall, if I really look at it over the whole 12-month period, I think it was good. It was good. The podcast evolved and it got easier. Got easier to get the guests on. It got easier to, people started to talk about it and stuff like that. And, we obviously had, as we spoke about, I think it was halfway through the year, we got approached for sponsorship deals and stuff like that. And it's not something that I'm still, I'm not planning on doing that. I don't want to do that. It's a passion of mine. It's something that I enjoy doing, but sometimes it's just hard to find time to do that. So, but this year I want to turn it up a notch. We want to dive deeper into obviously the guests and get better caliber of guests for the people that have been listening. And I want to also get better as being a host, because that is not a natural thing for me. I do have to learn to be a better host and ask better questions and get better value to the people that are listening. And also merch and all that sort of stuff. That's another thing that I'm going to be pushing for hard this year, as well as actually going hard in merchandise for people that want to get it, guests, et cetera, et cetera. So, that's basically the last 12 months and everything like that.
Exciting. We did a full recap video on Instagram about the actual business ideal and how that went. So if you want to watch that, go watch that. But for the podcast viewers who probably want not more of an in-depth view, but more just like a different perspective, I guess. How was last year for you?
Yeah, so last year for the business side of it, for Ideal, it was it was a massive year. We had massive changes throughout the year. I think when I sat down and I did a full review of where we started, where we ended up, growth, profit, everything, all the numbers and statistics that I could grasp off the dashboards that I run. I think last year we grew to about 30% more across the board in all spaces when you average it out, We didn't hit, as I sort of mentioned in the thing on Instagram about the goals, there was one goal that I had that we didn't hit, and I was very transparent. It was basically the number of team members, but it's like anything. It's only a goal, and I think that's a statistic that I struggle to control, because you can't control other people. So I've been getting better as the year goes on to understand that people are on their own path, and we just keep turning up and showing up and doing what we do. So we had multiple things arise at the end of last year that I'll discuss my lessons with those things at the end of last year, with problem employees and certain situations and stuff like that. And I will discuss what I learned in those and give people advice around what to do in the future. But what I learned is that they're just the little speed bumps along the way. They're not they don't break me. I don't lose any sleep over them. I'm sure that people are high-fiving and all that sort of stuff along the way, but for myself, it's nothing really. You just sort of take it, move on, and just keep going. So Yeah, but other than that, it was a fantastic year. We closed out the year. I think we, for the people that know or don't know, we got a boat. We cruised down the Brisbane River. We had our Christmas party there, and it was the biggest turnout of the Christmas party that we've had to date. And yeah, everyone enjoyed themselves. And the only thing we're going to change this year is we're just going to pull it forward a little bit, because by the time we had it, there was about, I think, 4 or 5 people that couldn't come because they were already on holidays. So, but other than that, really good year, man. Really good. So proud of everything that we did. Proud of the boys that stayed around, the jobs that we did. And hey, this year, big. We got a lot of changes going on. So, but it's like anything. I don't want to sit here and preach, it's going to be the biggest year to date. Like, I'm really at the point now where I think a lot of people just know that, and I'm just going to let the work do the talking, really. Like, we just got to keep showing up.
I'm not going to ask you about your 2026 goals and whatever, but I'm going to ask you, what's one big input goal and one big output goal for you for the year?
So a massive thing that's coming in this year that I guess if we're talking business related or personal,
Any,
I think,
yeah.
Business related, the biggest one that we're going to have on the business front is basically just increasing our overall volume of work that we get out. That's an input, and that one input alone has multiple facets to it. It's got multiple things that we need to do and implement throughout the year to do so. It's bringing in additional office members, bringing in additional ground crew, and to be honest with you and straight with the listeners as well, it's just because of the opportunities that we have on offer at the moment. And we worked hard for those opportunities. We put ourselves in situations to do it. It wasn't luck. Didn't just get handed to us. But we want to take advantage of those. So that's a massive input for the year. And it will probably be, I fucking hate saying it, but it will probably honestly be, I've done it every year consistently, and year on year, it's been about 30% growth, right? But this year, when we sit around at the end of the year, it'll probably be much more than that, just given the trajectory and everything. But output, I think output is mainly just how I've pardon me, got choked up talking about the output, making me emotional. No, it's not. It's not. Just for you guys that are fucking not watching, I'm not actually crying here. But no, big output is just how I probably employ certain people and the type of employees that I get. Culture and my employees are the pinnacle of what we do. It's how we show up every day. It's the attitude with the guys, and that is a massive focus that I'm putting on myself this year, is weeding out underperforming staff and increasing the quality of staff that we have. So I've now flipped the script with it's not a numbers thing that I'm chasing anymore. It's the quality of the members that I've got. I would rather have 10 good than 40 shit. And we are attracting good, and we're doing everything that we need to do at the back end to tick all the boxes and, put in things that are beneficial to the employees and beneficial to the company as well. Because we're also, and I also know as well that we're at the point in our journey where sharks are swimming around us and there's multiple people that want to see us fail. And I'm okay with that. I see that happening, and the shift has probably happened in the last 2 to 3 years with socials and everything like that, which is great. I don't care. I knew what I signed up for. But yeah, a lot of people out there want to see us break to our knees and fail, and it's just not going to happen. We're putting in a lot of things in place now that we just won't break. So yeah, it's a little bit of an insight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop you right there. We are now halfway through this episode, and I want to make a special shout out to Ideal Group Australia. Without the employees and the company at Ideal, we would not be able to produce this or bring this podcast to you. Now, welcome back to the episode.
I think quickly on that, what do you think, say you 5 years ago, or a person very early in their trade business, what's some sort of like HR type of thing? Maybe it's in the contract, maybe it's how they do the work that they can implement to like that will benefit them if something goes wrong for the employees, but still fair where the employee is also covered.
I could make a whole segment about HR, and everyone that's in our company at the moment, they all know that we're doing a lot of work with that at the moment, working with the government, working with multiple different consultants, and we're getting all that stuff sorted. And it's working because it's beneficial to the employees. But one thing I have learned with that journey of HR is, I've been down the path of multiple Fair Work claims. I've had police reports taken out of me. I've had cops show up to my door. You name it, it's happened. And one thing I've learned is that you'll never be 100% accurate with everything. You can't be, right? You can't be. And this reverts back to the employees that you get, and this is what I revert back to about people wanting to see you fail, is because as you go through business, you cannot be expected to know it all. A lot of people will sit there and say, I told you so. You should have done this. You should have done that. You should.
Yeah, hindsight.
Hindsight, right? They always say, yeah, you should have done that. You could have been better with this. It's like, yeah, but at the time, when you're the one that's trying to lead the ship, you got so many different things going on. So for me, like, I've mastered it now where it's okay to understand that you weren't the best with it and own up to it and pay that fucking bill and move on. You know what I mean? Because those people that want to come and break you at the knees, they're not going to be around for long. They'll come and go like the wind. And the beautiful thing about my platform and what I do and the position that I hold within Brisbane itself, it's a very small community. You can usually weed those people out pretty quick. Within about 3-4 different conversations, you can find out certain things. And, I've been in the game long enough now that a lot of guys will know who I am and what I stand for and what I do. And if they ring me and ask, I'll be telling them the truth. So in the long term, it's got no effect on me, but it's got massive, effects on them. So I would, if you're starting out in your journey and you're just getting there, the one piece of advice that I would give you is to not let it consume you. That's it. Because if you, do your DDs, go through Fair Work, communicate with them, and do the best that you can with the knowledge that you have. That's it. And be prepared for it to happen, because it's gonna happen. You're gonna employ that fucking retard that's gonna, I didn't get this, and it's gonna happen. And before anyone fucking blows up my social media about, but it's all right for you, blah, 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 mate, be real about the situation, right? Don't be a little girl about it. Like, be real about it and understand that yes, we signed up for the life. Yes, we did this. Yes, we did that. And yeah, employees have got they got it tough out there and blah, blah, blah. Every business owner's driving a G-Wagon and they never work. Like, whatever sort of story you want to tell yourselves, it's fine. But those type of people, to me, they're the lowest of low, I think. And that's where we're at. We're at that point where we're too small to be big and too big to be small.
Yeah.
We're right in the middle, right? Probably on the other end of the middle now, but we're right in that thing, right? So to the national thing of Australia, we're no longer a small business. We're classified. We're with the bigger boys now. So everything that we get hit with, we're hit with the ramifications as if it was fucking, whoever you want, Audi, same. It's the same. They deal with us the same. So, that's what I would do. I would just say, like, don't get wrapped up in it too much. Do the best that you can with the knowledge that you've got. Cop it on the chin and move on. Because the best thing you can do, irrespective of the outcome, is consistently and trade through it. Keep going. Keep showing up, and just let it come off your armor. No worries. Yep. Palm it off. Next. Go. And the more times you can do that, the better you'll be. And those guys that want to see you fail, that alone, irrespective of any sort of financial thing or anything like that comes out of whatever happens, that'll eat at them way more than any sort of gain that they want to high five over and crack a beer over. I got one up over him or whatever. That'll eat at them more. And I fucking love it, dude. I love it. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. So yeah, that's the only thing that I would do. And it's tough out there. You know, I know a lot of small businesses that have gone bankrupt over multiple things. You know, bad business, ATO debt, employee super, this, that, and the other, you name it. And I feel for them because it's hard out there. It's hard for business owners. You know, I'm not saying it's not hard for employees at all. You know, I've been there, I've done that. I know what it's like. I employ a lot of people. I pay my fucking fair share of the tax as well. So I also contribute to the economy, right? To the government and everything like that. I do my part. So I get it. You know, I'm like anyone else. I got to buy fucking groceries and everything. So, but I do empathize with guys that are trying to make something, do something. It's a slog. And you get to the point where you really start to question on whether or not, you know, it's all worth it. And I promise you, it is worth it. Just keep pushing through it. Just show up. Yeah.
For those guys who are going through that, like how can they interview better? How can they like not get better employees, but when they are going through that process of getting guys, like what's something they can do, or what's something that you do where?
So what, I know what you're saying. So what the best things to do is to start out with, if you've only got one, if it's only you and one other and you got a guy that you've never met and the only thing you can rely on is reference checks, right? That's it. There's nothing else. That guy could sit across from you, swear to you that he's the most trustworthy guy. He's the best guy ever. He does the best work, shows you every photo of every job that he's held a broom on, but he's never actually done anything, and preach that he's the best tradesman that you've ever met. And unfortunately, sometimes you can you can believe it. And when you're desperate, you got no other choice but to believe it. And as your business evolves, and I still think reference checking is a benefit, 100%. But as you get different guys and you get your core people, right? Like any company, I got a core group of people that I rely on. You know, I think I got 25 people on the books. Within that 25, there's really only 6. And I'm one of them. So there's really only 6 people that I actually value their opinion, and I will steer accordingly off their opinion. So as your business evolves and grows, that's the next layer is relying on those people to actually tell you the truth, and then steer accordingly from that and make your decision relatively quick. You know, there's an old saying with HR and employment where you hire slow and fire fast. I don't do that. I hire fast and fire slow, but I need to now do both. I need to hire fast and fire fast. It's and that's the current market, right? 10 years ago, you could hire slow because the fucking unemployment rate was, 8% or something, 9%. Where now it's like 3%, right? So you've got you haven't got enough workers out there in Australia to provide the work. So you got to take advantage. And I'm talking statistically to trades, right? I'm not talking to fucking check out people or anything like that. I'm talking the trade community. It's even lower again. So you do have to grasp at the opportunity to get someone, but then you need to really be fast with whether or not that person's good or not. And if they're not, move them on. And putting in little things that you can do to check their trustworthiness, right? Where in the past I've been taken advantage of massively with people taking my trust. I give them, because I'm a very trustworthy guy to a degree. We were even talking about it this morning in one of our management meetings. I was talking about the trust. We've got a new office lady that started and relinquishing roles and stuff like that. And I'm pretty trustworthy now. Fucking 5 years ago I wasn't. Good luck getting a password out of me. Now I don't care, right? You give them to them. Let's see. But I now rely on other people to say to me, no, not now.
Yeah.
I've got other people saying to me, no, not now. So I rely on their opinion, and if it's not now for them, it's not now for me. And I just go with that. So, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard. There's no easy thing through it. The best thing I can say is you just trade through everything that you get. Any sort of bad hand that you get, you work through it and just keep working through it. Keep showing up and keep doing it. some of them are going to affect you more than others. You know, I've had one where I've been taken down, read my rights, sat in a police interview room, and they read me my rights and slid me over a 30-page document that I had no idea about. I had no idea, nothing. It was a case that was getting built against the company that I had no idea about. And, you know, we won that and we did what we needed to do. And, everything got settled after that. But it was one of those things. When I was faced with that, I didn't know any better. And I'm grateful for that because it changed the trajectory of the business and how we operated and how we did things. So it's not saying it'll never happen again. Fuck, very well might. But we'll survive.
Yeah, I think that's important, is being able to take what you learn and then pivot.
That's it.
From that.
Yeah.
But from the perspective of an employee, the actual workers, how can they vet like their potential next boss?
Like the biggest thing that I say to when I get people in here that I have the interview, I obviously, we talk about remuneration, everything that matters to them, because let's be real. Remuneration, what you get paid, is the number one thing that people care about. Then the next thing after that is your culture and what you do and the work style and that, blah, 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 goes down the list, right? So a lot of the time I knock the remuneration thing on the head and I say, this is what we're willing to do. Then the next thing is I talk about the pay structure, the hours and everything like that, right? But from an employee aspect is you speak to the other people that are there. So for me, when I'm interviewing, the first thing I say is I could sit here and I could say everything you want to hear. I'm the best boss in the world, best culture, best this, best that. Fucking, we do the best fucking homes in Australia. I could say everything you wanted to hear. Fuck, I do it all. But I say to them, I'm not going to sit here and say that. This is what we do. Everything outside of that, if you want to know who I am, how I am, how I do it, how the company feels and looks and smells and everything like that, go out there and go and speak to the guys that I got. They're the ones that'll tell you the truth. Because I feel like a lot of guys, where a lot of employees go wrong, is they sit there and they rely on a job ad, or they rely, you know, I had a guy recently leave us and then come back 3 months later, and you know, he left me for fucking, I don't know, $2 more, and the all these benefits per se that he was going to get that never ended up coming. And when he returned, I asked him, I said, listen, like, tell me, what was it? And he said, I was going to get this. I was going to get this. I was working on this. I said, did you get any of it? No, I didn't. I said to him, mate, if you came to me and you showed me this deal straight out of the gate, I would have told you right then and there that it's too good to be true. That's what I would have said. So I feel like a lot of employees put too much faith, and they get distracted by the shiny lights of money, where they say, I'll give you $150,000 a year. Oh, yep, I'll go and do that. But what does that actually entail? You need to dive a little bit deeper, because if the offer and the thing that you're going for is too good to be true, and it seems like the best of the best, it's usually the fucking truth. It is too good to be true. So that's what you need to do. You need to cross-check that, understand exactly what you're getting in bed for. You know, who is it? What do you do? How many hours? What are the guys like? How does the guy speak to me? Is it the sort of guys that you want to be around? Multiple different things, right? Because I've had guys take 30K pay cuts to come back for lesser money, but it's, you know, a better environment. It's not always about the money, even though a lot of guys, when they're coming into their journey right at the start, it is. It's not until you get later in life that you realize that it's in fact not always about that. You know, that 10, 15 grand a year, you can do better with a better lifestyle and that sort of stuff. So,
yeah, I think that it is important, that note about it's not always about money, especially when you're working. A lot of times these guys are probably working more than they see their own families. So it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, weigh it up.
Yeah. And I think the grass is always greener. I think that's the analogy that a lot of guys think. They think where they are and where they could be, it's always better where they could be. It's always better at that next, like, fuck, I do the same thing at jobs, and I've had to learn the hard way. I used to think the most architectural design houses in Australia were the best jobs. They're the best places to be, where in fact they're fucking not. They're a headache. They're unmanageable. They're fucking, it's an app, and hold up a minute. I'm not saying all of them, right? But I'm just saying for the vast majority that I've had experience on, they're an absolute fucking nightmare, right? I've been on jobs that are 10 times simpler that, yes, it doesn't look that good on Instagram, but fuck me, it's way more enjoyable to go there and go and work. That is what I mean. So that's contextual to me, but contextual to the employees is, yeah, it's not always about the money because you are there, you know, all the time. You see you see these guys every single day. Yeah. And, you know, I've got a lot of guys where they say, you know, I need more money in that. And I'm like, well, how about this? Why not come to me with the deal that you reckon that you're going to get? And I'll see. And if it's a fair and fucking reasonable deal, and I look at it and I go, if these guys are offering that, that's a fucking good deal. And I do because I know a lot of guys that are offering around at my space anyway, that, you know, if I see an ad, like I had a guy reach out to me a while ago, and I'll fucking put his name out there. But Maddie from Frameology had a job offer open, and I had an ex-employee of mine message me and ask me, and I know Matt, I know the business that he runs, and he runs a really good fucking ship. And I knew for a fact that it was going to be hard for these guys to get a job with him, as always, because Matt fucking, he's straight 180, right? But when he sent me the thing and he goes, what do you reckon? I said, yeah. I said, but you better be fucking switched on and ready to go, you know? And I've had other guys send me stuff and they go, what did you reckon? I'm like, dude, the money sounds mad, but do you know who these guys are? Like, is it really the sort of environment that you want to go to? You know, I just give them the honest truth. So, yeah, definitely relying on your network of people on fucking social media. It's a fabulous thing. You can just ask anyone. Anyone wants to ask me, I'll tell you the fucking truth. We've interviewed, I don't know how many, 60 people across Brisbane. Message me and ask me. Say, oh, dude, I'm working with this guy, or I'm about to go on trial with this guy. What do you reckon? I'll tell you. I'm not going to fucking lie to you. If you want to go and badger me and I'll tell that guy as well. I've got nothing to hide. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you know, he's a really good guy when he's a fucking dickhead. Vice versa for bosses, right? For people that own businesses when they're employing certain people on that. Ask the people that you know. Be like, wait, dude, have you ever fucking worked with this guy? Like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. Because if I don't fucking know him, I bet you I know someone that does, 100%. So, yeah, that's the one piece of advice for employees is you just need to look at it from a much broader spectrum, not just the fucking pay thing and the guy saying, I'm going to give you a fuel card, I'm going to give you an RDO every 2 weeks, I'm going to give you this and give. Understand what is it that you have to give, or what is it that you have to actually put up with, you know? So that's what I do for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to end. We got a bit sidetracked.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be just a quick update and
quick update. But as you can tell, I have been so silent for so long. I've had so much going on that I've got a lot of stuff that I can deep dive into now. You know, I've got a nice little bank of talks in my chamber. So, but yeah, everything else that's been going on, it's been amazing. We've had really good time thus far. And I can't wait to deep dive into everything, all the wins, all the losses, all the lessons. I can't wait to do all that with you guys over the next few episodes and few months. We are going to try to stick to that once a week thing when we start getting it rolling, and we're going to start pumping through the guests. So for everyone that has reached out over the last few months that wants to get on, let us know. All right, because Nick's going to be locking everyone in, and we're going to be getting it all going now. So.
Oh yes, I'm booking people in.
Yeah.
If I've forgotten, you've messaged me, send me another message.
Yeah.
If you want to come on, just send us a message.
Yeah.
I'll try to find something that works and get you in.
Yeah. So, alrighty, guys, that's it. So, ciao from the Inside Podcast.